Samsung Galaxy S9, the camera reimagined. Does this phone do enough to earn your dollar, or is it just another Samsung phone? Let's find out right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, Galaxy S9. Let's begin with the key specs that matter. 5.8-inch 2K Super AMOLED display, 12-megapixel 4K variable aperture camera, a Snapdragon 845 or Exynos 9810 with 4 gigs of RAM, and a 3000 milliamp hour battery with expandable memory up to 400 gigs. At the design level, what do we get here? Well, we're talking about maybe a slightly refined version of the Galaxy S8 with a beautiful curved display, a little bit shorter, slightly wider. Stereo speakers do come here, so this is a nice touch for the S9. We do have the inclusion of a power button on the right, but the Bixby button remains, which is questionable for some, but to me it's okay because you can turn that off now. At the back, you can have now a heart rate monitor with blood pressure sensor, and the fingerprint moves to the right location that we've all been asking for. The new lilac purple is a stunner and definitely a looker. You are going to get questions about this one, but the build quality of the Galaxy S9 is still one that needs a case due to the glass on the rear, which can crack quite easily if you do drop it on these rocks. As you see in this video, I had to hold onto this very tightly just to make sure I did not crack this device. So definitely this one will need a case in everyday use. It does have Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, so you might not need a screen protector, but I still recommend one anyway, especially when you're paying this kind of money for a phone. On the front of the device, you're going to see that beautiful 2K display, and it is brighter than ever before on any Galaxy device and has the highest pixels per inch on pretty much any phone on the market. Great range of brightness, can be easily legible in the sunlight if you do put it on auto brightness, and it gets very dim. It does have a little bit of flicker at the lowest brightness, a common thing of OLED displays. And in display settings, there's plenty of things you can do to really get this display to the level that you will enjoy. It comes with 1080p out of the box. You have to go to screen resolution and put this at WQHD plus if you want the full enjoyment of this display. Under the screen modes, you have the ability to tweak this into AMOLED Cinema, AMOLED Photo, and Basic. This is essentially what Apple's True Tone does, but allows you to, tweak it yourself. And Samsung actually had that feature prior to the True Tone feature on the iPhone. So this is an incredible feature if you do want to get the display right to the point that you like it. And the text on this display is extremely sharp. There's very inky blacks with good contrast with the colors, and the immersive video experience is great. Also, we have multi-window that's actually more feature rich than the one on like a stock Android device. You also have pop-up view, which allows you to put two apps side by side, basically however you want. And you do have the one-handed mode, which allows you to basically use this one-handed, and a cherry on top is the Infinity wallpapers exclusive to the S9. So the S9 has the best display on the market, hands down, for a smaller phone. Now, we do have Android 8.0 Oreo on board with Samsung Experience version 9.0, and while this is Android 8.0 Oreo underneath, what's really on the surface is a Samsung experience. You're not going to see too much of a Google influence here. You're going to see a lot of Samsung features. I mean, look at the notification tray. There's a lot to see there. Going into your settings, well, there's even more to see there, and if you've never used a Samsung phone, there's a lot to learn here, although it's more clean and intuitive as ever, so don't let this scare you off. It's very easy to use this stuff, but there's just a lot that's going on with this device compared to a more simple UI. But how fast is the Galaxy S9? Does it give you the speed you're looking for in 2018? And I can guarantee you, yes, it does. It's extremely fast. 4 gigs of RAM is enough for this smaller phone, and day to day, you're just not gonna have any issues with performance. I've had this thing for a month and it's not breaking a sweat at all, no matter how many apps I'm using. Now, the S9 Plus will give you a little bit better RAM management. If you want to have 25 apps open in the background and everything to not reload, then get yourself the S9 Plus. But over here on the small boy, it's going to do just fine on the day-to-day. And then going on to some special features, there's even more features we need to talk about. If you go into advanced features, you can see Smart Stay, games, one-handed, fingerprint sensor gestures. There's device assistant app, multi-windows, smart capture, palm swipe to capture, direct call, smart alert, easy mute, swipe to call, send message, dual messenger, send SOS message. I mean, are you getting the picture? It goes on after on, but some of the more useful features I found is the fingerprint sensor gesture, which allows you to pull down the notification tray, the one-handed mode, which makes it very easy to use the S9 with one hand if you cannot reach to the top of this display. I understand if you got small hands. And the double click to open the camera is an amazing feature as well. So those are some of the ones I really like. Now, when it comes to security, Samsung also threw in a bunch of features. You have intelligent scan, which combines the iris and the facial recognition to give you a more, accurate opening of the lock screen. You have secure startup, secure lock settings. You can go ahead and encrypt the SD card. Smart lock, Google Smart Lock is here. Secure folder is even here, where you can store files in the secure folder, which nobody can access but you through biometric security. I mean, this thing is a secure phone with Knox behind the scenes, helping you never get your data stolen. So you do also have some good audio experience here as well. You have a 3.5mm headset jack and stereo speakers on both the bottom and the top. But to really get the most out of this, you have to turn on Dolby Atmos. So go ahead and have a listen for yourself of these speakers.
I went this route for more functional durability, and because like if you drop this rear on the Pixel 2 XL, you'll probably just dent it a little bit, but if you drop the rear...
Are you getting it? It's definitely a very loud speaker, one of the loudest on any phone. So what about battery life with the S9? Well, I can tell you right now that it's not the best in the planet, but it does give you good power saving modes, mid and max. And to me, this is a day phone. Maybe it might not make it fully through the day, but most of the day, at least till nighttime, you're gonna have to hit the charger, but it's gonna not go 1.5-2 days like a S9 Plus would. So if you want more battery life, you gotta go to the Plus version. But this thing is definitely gonna get through most people's workday, no problem. Samsung decided to go ahead and improve the keyboard, which was a good move because on the Samsung S9, you do get all new emojis. You also get this on 8.0 with other Android devices, but these emojis just look so much better than the prior versions of the Samsung keyboard. You also get new sticker packs, which you can download some more, and you also get new GIF animations on this keyboard. So really, it's a nice keyboard update and something I definitely had to include here. If you do get an S9, it's a nice keyboard update. So the camera reimagined. Is it really reimagined? Well, at least the hardware has been reimagined. Software, not so much, but you'll never probably even notice this if you never look at the back of your phone, but it has a variable aperture that opens and closes to let in more light in different scenarios, making for better detailed photos than ever before. Now, shooting with this phone is great because it's a small, nice size and you can shoot with that volume rocker, and it's basically on the level now as a Pixel 2, I think, when it comes to overall photo quality. And you also have great modes that the Pixel 2 doesn't even give you, like pro modes, great food modes. It also gives you even more you can download, and it's very well laid out. You also have a super slow mo that goes up to 960 frames per second, and you have AR emojis if you want to get into that whole, AR emoji and emoji type stuff. And you also have hyperlapse here. On the front, there's also some nice features as well, in addition to Bixby Vision. So this camera, well, again, just like the rest of the phone, it's loaded with features. At least you can get to those features right within the settings of this software. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this wide selfie mode that comes on the front of the S9 along with the Bixby Vision, like we just mentioned. But overall, it's a pretty good camera software experience. It's just that sometimes when you're using this camera, it will go through features on accident, like it's a little sensitive on the touchscreen. So just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna stop talking now about everything this camera offers, and let's show you some examples of the photography you can get out of the S9 right now. So I had to mention phone call quality because the Samsung Galaxy S9 actually impressed me in this area. It has pretty good signal strength and it has an extra volume mode when you're actually in a phone call that makes the phone calling even better. And I never had one dropped call using this phone. So it's an excellent phone for phone call quality if you care at all about that. So the Galaxy S9, is it worth your time? Who's it for? Well, if you want an extraordinary design, while it's not the most innovative anymore because it's been out already for a little bit of time, it's a very easy one-handed phone as they made the phone a little bit shorter and a little bit wider, making it a little bit more grippy. Now, that camera, is it really reimagined? Well, the hardware is definitely reimagined, but the software is just slightly tweaked. It is a Samsung Experience version, which is going to give you a ton of features Some might like it, some might hate it, but at least you gotta commend Samsung for giving you a lot of useful things and not a lot of junk like they used to do in the past. Now, the speed and performance is really good. You also get one of the best mobile payment systems on the planet. Headphone jack remains, which is a dying breed on all smartphones, and you have speakers that are very loud. Pretty good battery life that I'm not going to say is the best, but does well. You also have great amount of storage, which you'll never run out, and IP68 helps you to not really worry about the phone getting wet. So the S9 is the total package for most people looking for a standard size smartphone. If you found this video helpful, enjoyable, do me a favor, click that thumbs up for me, and if you're new here, subscribe for more. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. I'll catch you on the next one, and peace.